everyone, my name is David. I'm a KOK Play Frontier from the Genesis Group. And today I got more updates on the economy and why it is that much more important to join the KOK Play family and start mining and go ahead and build some financial stability, build some financial wealth to go ahead and have something that's going to help you prepare for what could be a perfect storm of hyperinflation. So here, with all ado, let's start with Max Keiser.
It's worse. I mean, it's a central bank's wet dream, right? It's complete and utter control of the money supply. So, I mean, if anything, it should drive more people towards Bitcoin, I would believe.
Well, it's going to be easier to do, let's say, MMT, Modern Monetary Theory, or UBI, right? So in the States, you already have basically UBI. People are getting a monthly check from the government, and they're not going to apply for jobs because they're getting twice the minimum wage by not working. So that's UBI. So we're already on UBI. So, okay, so now we know what happens when you do UBI. Oh, you get inflation. And so in other words, for every dollar increase you get in your UBI, you're going to have to pay more than $1 for that basket of goods at the grocery store. So now you're losing. Again, you're going to lose and lose and lose. You cannot print your way into having a prosperity. I mean, if that were so, then Zimbabwe would be the richest country in the world, or Venezuela would be incredibly rich. But they're not. They're incredibly poor because they think they can print money to create wealth. It doesn't work that way. Sorry.
Do you think that those countries are a preview of what could happen in the, I guess, quote unquote, first world when we finally see hyperinflation? Because in those places, Bitcoin is actually being put to the test and winning, right? I mean, we see hyperinflation and nobody really talks about it, but people are surviving because of Bitcoin and even some other cryptocurrencies. But it's changing people's lives on a daily basis who don't have access to other money.
Right. So as Paul Krugman at the New York Times says, the dollar is backed by men with guns. So the Pentagon...
All right. So I'm going to leave it right there. And that's Max Keiser, right? Because we went through this before, how you have central governments and all they're doing, they're just printing money. That's it. That's all they're doing. They're printing money and that's devaluing their currency. And we see lots of inflation. Lots of inflation. They're my children. Now, I'm going to go here. And I showed you guys this chart before where just within 12 months change, I mean, some of them went up 100%. Natural gas, 65%. Crude oil, over 100%. Palm oil over 100%, soybean oil over 100%. I mean, it's just crazy. Iron 122% basically. Silver's up, gold is up. You name it, everything up. Coconut oil, olive oil 60% basically. All right. Wow, Russian natural gas 463.92%. So you see the inflation. You see what Max Keiser has to say, okay? And let's go to Peter Schiff.
I feel like we had this conversation 10 years ago when we were scratching our heads saying, wow, this is a lot of money that they're printing. This is trillions of dollars. Here we are 10 years later going, wow, this is a lot of money. This is trillions more. Are we 10 years from now, we're going to be saying, wow, how are they still doing this? I mean, what point? That's it.
Well, I mean, so 10 years ago, they were doing $1 trillion deficits. They hit $1 trillion. Well, now we're doing like $4 trillion deficits. So if we continue to do that for another 10 years, we'd have to be running $16 trillion annual deficits. There is simply no possible way that it could ever get to that path. And the reality is the current trajectory is necessary to sustain this bubble. And so that's how you know that it has to pop along the way, because the numbers that would be required to sustain it grow so large that it is impossible. Like if you have a drug habit and you keep taking more and more drugs, and it's like, well, I keep building up a tolerance, so I need more drugs and more drugs and more drugs. Well, at some point, there is an amount of drugs that is lethal. And you'd have to say, well, I can't take that much because then you're going to die. And I think in order to stay on this trajectory, there is a lethal amount of debt that just kills the economy. And somewhere between where we are now, 4 trillion a year, and 16 trillion, we're going to hit that point. And, I would think it'd be closer to 4 trillion than 16 trillion.
Okay, it's very sobering. It's very sobering. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a whole lot of people addicted to this drug. It's become the new normal that, let's just do another package, $2 million, and create jobs. At least jobs could be created from the infrastructure bill, potentially, if that's what the bill is actually for.
People don't even want jobs anymore. They just want money. I mean, why have a job when you could make more not working? I mean,
all right. That's Peter Schiff. And if y'all really know, Peter Schiff and Max Kaiser, they don't get along. All right, they don't get along. They have different point of views. But when you listen to all the economic experts, they're all saying the same thing. That central governments all over the world, they printed too much money. You have too much inflation. The buying, purchasing power of the dollar or different currencies, rather you're in Korea, you're using the won, or you're in Russia, you're in China, India, it doesn't matter. You're in Europe, the euro, Japan, the currencies is getting devalued. The purchasing power is going down. It's going down. All right. Last one, legendary Jim Rogers. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a commercial. I don't mean for y'all to suffer through it. Oh man, another one. I don't know. I feel like they owe me some money.
Reasons here, and basically, Asia, you see meaningful growth, and if it is, what kind of growth? Are we seeing stagnation? The global economy stalling. If we could give the most aggregate picture, what it would be?
Well, things are getting better.
Better.
But Peter, last year everything was closed. I live in Singapore. The airport closed. So if you have 5 flights a week, that's better. 10 flights. So things are getting better everywhere in nearly all industries. But your next question should be, how long? And
how long? That's my next question then.
Okay. I would suspect by the end of this year or next, we're going to come to the end because so much money was pumped into the world economy. America, Japan, everybody printed.
But is that a good thing? See, that's the next stage because,
So even Jim Rogers, legendary investor Jim Rogers, says the world has pumped too much money. Everybody just printed. And what is all this money backed by? What is it backed by? They're just making money out of thin air, right? Jim Rogers, Peter Schiff, Max Kaiser, they're all saying that the economy is going to explode. It's going to blow up. This big bubble is going to blow up. The purchasing power of all the currencies around the world has been devalued. But I do have good news. And the good news is that the purchasing power of KOK coins have gone up. Okay, the purchasing power of KOK coins have gone up, and it has matched, if not outperformed, went up higher than the inflation of goods that you buy at the store. So if you look at my previous videos, there was a time when if I wanted to purchase this online PT lesson, it would have cost me 1 KOK coin. But now it's 0.41 of a KOK coin. All right, there was a time when if I wanted to download a webtoon, it would cost me 1 KOK coin for me to download it, to access it for like 10 days, and then 3 KOK coins to have it permanently in my storage, right? But now it's only 0.25 to access it for 10 days and 0.83 to be able to access it unlimited, right? Movies, it'll be the same case, and even you see shopping, and like I said, Coke Play will be adding, in my opinion, they're going to add a lot more products, even though the products that they have now, they're premium, they're good, but they'll be adding more products. And I would say that as the price of KOK coins go up in value, that it'll cost less KOK coins to purchase these products, right? I mean, it's just, that's how I look at it, because you see it with the digital contents. And so that's pretty much the news, right? This is what we need to be talking about in the KOK family, and just everyone. I don't care if you're part of the KOK family or not. You know, maybe this is your first time watching this video. This is something you really need to think about. All the experts, all right? Jim Rogers, Peter Schiff, Max Kaiser, you name it, they're all saying the same thing about the economy. The world has printed too much. The purchasing power has gone down. That we're all in a bubble and it's about to pop. Well, when the bubble pops, where do you want to be? You want all your money saved up in a currency that you know is getting devalued? Right? That's the biggest tax on you, is inflation. That's a war on your savings. You want to put your savings in something that you know is going to go up in value, that's going to maintain your purchasing power, if not give you more purchasing power. And for me, it's KOK Play. Now, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and giving you some information on why I'm doing it. Okay? So, that right there is pretty much it. You know, what I recommend is go to KOK Play and download KOK Play. Download the app, all right? Go to Play Store, type in KOK space Play. And then you're going to need an invite code. You're going to need a recommendation code. Use mine. QAABIRWL. QAABIRWL. Okay? You have it right there. All right? Everyone, I just want you to know, I want you to stay safe. God bless you, all right? So stay blessed. God bless. KOK on.